I'm Sabrina Ellis, and I'm Sabrina Ellis, and I'm 26 years old. This isn't dandruff coming out of my hair, it's beer. If you see flakes, I had a beer shower on stage last night.
Beer flakes.
Well, that reminds me of a sex joke I made up. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I used to work at Casino El Camino, and I actually scared some people out of the bar because they overheard my sex joke. It was like making you know when you're in high school and you have like terminology for disgusting sex acts, like cherry pie and chili dog and all that good stuff.
Sure.
And there's like this one I made up called like the Scranton Snow Day, wherein a male would ejaculate upon himself prior to leaving his house. Then he'd dress, and then he'd go to a bar, pick up a chick, and later when they're like about to bed, he would stand over her and scratch all the flakes off of his stomach. And that's the Scranton Snow Day. I don't know. I get self-destructive is what it is. I mentally implode upon myself if I don't have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
And having shows, just I could name you all these shows that I have coming up in the next 2 months that I'm very excited about, and that's what I like to set up for myself. But sometimes it's hard because in bands, sometimes people don't want their fate decided by me. They don't want to be super busy because I want to be super busy. And so...
So are you responsible for booking your bands so much?
Well, not a giant dog. I don't book them anymore.
Okay.
That was taken away from me a few years ago.
Did you overbook?
As I've gotten older, I realized that I've had a habit of overbooking. When I was young, I really denied it. I thought, why shouldn't somebody play every night of the week? This is rock and roll. Why shouldn't I do this 24/7? I do like to physically exert myself. If I had a trampoline in the backyard, I think a lot of my life problems could be solved. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know this till a few weeks ago. So we're shopping for one right now. But yeah, I do. I need to get out a lot of physical energy. I'm like a dog that needs to be run.
Yeah.
Or else I can be really destructive. It's a mistake for so many people to be sitting stagnant all the time. It's a shame that so many jobs are so unphysical. People sit behind computers all the time, and I don't think they're all miserable people or anything, but I think it could make me crazy. I would be stir crazy. My first dance moves came from me thinking, what can I possibly do? Like, what does my body want to do? And that's spaz out. Like, my body wants to flail and look just jerky and ridiculous. And that's, like, I don't want to just, I don't want to Britney Spears or NSYNC it out. I want to, like, thrash myself. And I actually used to be a really huge fan of headbanging. I love the feeling of falling. I want a trampoline just so I can bounce and fall just all the time. The chiropractor, the acupuncturist, everyone's like, you have to stop headbanging. I was having little lapses of consciousness, but they were so split second. I would just be standing around.
From headbanging too much?
I don't know if that was it, but we tried different things, like eliminating just different things from my life. When I eliminated headbanging, they went away. So I was giving myself like a rock and roll, like aneurysm, like or something. not aneurysm, just little, yeah, bang over, like you said. Just little, like when cartoon characters see cartoon stars after they've been knocked out, I would have that
Just
for a split second, just a few times a day, always the days after a show. And so I had to stop headbanging because the acupuncturist explained to me, she said, like, the thing that your head weighs like 10 pounds and the thing that you're like rocking this bowling ball around on all the time is like this thin. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna paralyze myself or something. I was working for the past 10 years pretty much. I've been working consistently and in service industry as a server for a long time. Then I was a cook for quite a while. And up until about 2 weeks ago, or just before Christmas, I was working pretty part-time. I let it get more and more part-time because I would look at my list of priorities. So it's like right here, my list of priorities, and it's something only I can see. But I would look at it and I'd be like, okay, there's no time for something. What is it? And it would always be work. When I'm at a shift, I feel like I'm wasting 9 hours of my life. No offense to the awesome people I was working with, but like, I'm not thinking about being there. I'm thinking about my calendar, managing my calendar. Oh, who's emailing me right now? Who do I need to be corresponding with? I need to promote this, this, and this. Who am I getting to make flyers? I've been working on this song. What are going to be the lyrics for the first line of the second verse? I still don't have them. And that's all that was going through my head. But the reason I took up cooking in the first place is years ago I was in a different place in my life and I really needed somewhere where I could go and not think. And I loved the line for that. I loved going somewhere and being completely physical. And I didn't have to think. I was kind of just a piece of machinery. And it got me, to stop thinking about negative things or being a hateful person. But then after just doing something so often, you can become hateful about I have a talent for becoming hateful about anything. Compulsiveness.
Yeah.
So it's a compulsive behavior for me to say yes to as many things as I possibly can before feeling overloaded. This is my last month to get to just do the crazy 3-show-a-week thing. I don't think I'll get to do that maybe ever again until I tour, because for the next few months we're limiting each band to their own 2 shows.
2 a month.
For each band. So I get 4 in the future. That's why I have to do this solo thing.
Why is that?
So that I can play more shows.
You just can't help yourself?
I don't think so. And also, this is really shallow, and as I get older, I get more shallow. Instead of splitting money through a whole band, I get to keep all the money myself, which means instead of earning $20, I can earn $100. I really don't care about how many dollars I have. I just really wanted to quit my job. myself free. Andrew, bullshit is unrequited fool shit. I didn't invite a hard-headed fight, it's clear I'm right. And if it seems unclear why you're over there and I am over here, be smart, my dear. And if it feels like pain, like you're the only one who's going insane, I'm not feeling a thing. I'm not feeling a thing. Please do find someone new, someone who could care for you, 'cause I don't. Please do find someone new, someone who could fall for you, 'cause I won't. Oh, la 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 la, unrelenting lack of love. La 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 la, unrelenting lack of love. Unrelenting, 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 unrelenting lack of love. I sang since I was 11. I wasn't good at anything as a kid. And my parents really wanted me to have a hobby because I was a really miserable, kind of depressed child. Would think about things beyond my control and get really, like, soul-crushingly depressed. And
As a little kid? What had happened?
to make me that way?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have really awesome parents that have never been anything but fair and kind to me and very lenient and supportive. And I just couldn't stand not understanding things when I was a kid. I couldn't stand not being an adult. I couldn't stand not having control of my environment. I couldn't stand that I'd been brought into existence. I wanted to die when I was 7. And I just was obsessed with the idea of death, and I think about it all the time, but I didn't sleep a lot either. I'd stay up all night. I'd wait till my parents fell asleep and I'd sneak to the TV and watch TV all night. I'd watch VH1, I think in music videos sometimes. And then I would hear them wake up and I'd go get in my bed. And so I think that made me maybe weirder than I would have been as a kid. I was in New York for 2 years. I was actually studying theater. I studied experimental theater at NYU. Went to one of the most expensive schools you can go to study one of the most ridiculous trades. Experimental theater is basically like a nice word for performance art. And it changed who I was, and like I really didn't get what I was doing there and ended up dropping out. And I was doing too many drugs and in just a horrible relationship with some sleazy older guy. I was doing the New York thing. I didn't know I was going to do that when I moved there, but that's what I ended up doing. And
Where'd you live before?
in Houston. I grew up in Houston with the guys from A Giant Dog. Eventually moving in with Andy Bauer from A Giant Dog, who lived in Austin in an apartment in West Campus. I lived on his couch for 3 months and had nothing to do. I wasn't in school. Picked up the guitar that my dad got me when I was 11. He bought me this huge acoustic guitar, this Guild. Why is an 11-year-old gonna play a huge man guitar? I don't know. I didn't touch it for like 9 years, then I'm 20. Bored enough to sit down and start like figuring this thing out. What is it? Andrew and I have been writing together for 6 years, and we're like this sort of familial, almost telepathic team. We have a similar sense of humor. He's really intensely productive. he always has to have this little tape recorder with him because he has riffs going in his head all the time. And he used to drive to San Marcos all the time, and he'd just write riffs and sing or whistle them the whole way there and the whole way back. And then it would be up to us to sit down, and he would teach me, he'd play his riff and teach me what he had thought maybe the melody should be. And then we'd come up with lyrics, and when Andrew and I write together, it's super fast. I don't know, but I do constantly have this clamoring little singing in my head, and it makes up songs, and very few of them are good. And sometimes I even get confused by that voice. It'll tell me something's really good. And then I'll see in the faces of others that what I'm playing is embarrassing them. And that's pretty much my solo show is gonna probably be a lot of trial and error. My imagination, I have no control over it, and it's not cool in there. It's not hip in there. It doesn't know what people like in there. It just is this little flamboyant, 8-year-old dressed up in drag, and it's singing about what it sees around the room, and that's my brain, that's my musical, that's my Mozart mind. I remember this movie, Fievel.
Fievel Goes West?
It was before Fievel Goes West, but it was Fievel.
An American Tale? An
American Tale. Yeah. He wore the little hat. He gets separated from his sister, and they sing this beautiful song, and these two mice, there's a video montage of these two mice separated, and right. It's in their little mice voice, they're like, somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight.
I remember.
Well, I loved that song. And I guess my parents overheard me singing it. I was really private about singing.
Really?
I was very shameful, dancing too. And that one I didn't get over that till I was about 21.
Wow.
But I remember, I'll never forget, there was about to be a dance in 6th grade, my first dance. And I was just so shameful of dancing. I found it unnatural that people would hear music and smile and feel joyous and then want to move their bodies together
But you liked to do it in secret? Oh, no, you didn't.
No, but I wanted to be cool, and I was always picked on. I was small and dorky. I dressed really eccentrically because my mom thought it was cute.
But you would sing. Did you think that was shameful or weird?
At the age of 11, yes, everything was still really shameful and weird to me. And one time I was preparing for the 6th grade dance, and I locked myself in this bathroom with the radio on.
What?
And I got in there, and I was in front of the mirror trying different dance moves that I had seen. In Houston, in my middle school, it was all black girls in my gym class, and they were really cool, and they were all friends, and they'd all kind of pick on me, try to get me in trouble and stuff, and they'd always dance, and they were so sexy, the way they'd move, and they just knew what to do. And so I'd get in front of the mirror, and I'd try to do what I'd see them do. And when my mom knocked on the bathroom door, and I'm and I turn off the radio, I'm what? She's like, Sabrina, should we talk? And I'm no, I'm just trying some dance moves. And she's like, Sabrina, you're coming of age, and if what you're doing in there isn't dance moves, I understand and we can talk about it. And I'm no, I was doing dance moves, I swear, but I knew she thought I was masturbating.
Yeah, because that sounds like a big lie. Who would be doing dance moves in the bathroom?
I